I'm Racers Marshall Pruett. We are here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, day one of a two-day Indy Open test, the only 2 test days we're going to get before real live action starts for the Indianapolis 500 in May. First day is down. Big thank you, by the way, to Pennzoil. They've been doing pioneering things, advancing oil for more than 110 years. So big thank you to them for supporting all of our coverage. This is a busy day, 8.5 hours of running here at Indy on this 2.5-mile oval. Cool in the morning, overcast, little tiny bit of rain, had a little bit of a shutdown there. Then when we got back on track, sun, lighter skies, heat, about 85 degrees or so, got up to about 85. It was about 60 this morning. The big change though.
Hello, sorry.
This afternoon, hi. Hey, this is social media star.
Oh, no.
Social media star.
Don't say that.
Callum Ilott. I'll get back to the stuff I was talking about a moment ago.
Oh, sorry. I didn't.
No,
I thought it would be good.
It's okay. I got a microphone here.
Okay, I'll speak.
Yes, your day did not go the way that you wanted so much. And let me improvise, because this is what we do. None of this stuff is rehearsed. We just flap our gums and do stuff. We'll put one of these on you.
Okay, how are we doing this?
I want it there, so it looks like you got a little.
Okay, I can't grow a beard, so that's about as close as I get. So this
Here.
is a magnet. Okay.
You hold that.
Yeah, I'll hold that.
And then I stick my hand inside your shirt, which you're accustomed to me doing.
There we go.
And there we go. So there's that. Your day did not go according to plan. If I were to count the amount of laps you did versus the amount of laps these pit tuggers did, they might have done more than you. Tell folks about how you come here, you prepare like mad, you're going to learn a ton of stuff, and none of that really kind of sort of happens. What does that do to your head?
That's a great question. Yeah, I'm a bit lost really. I think the engineers are even more lost than me. Look, these cars get a lot of time spent on them, you know. They're looking at every single part that they can gain some little extra speed from. And the morning I could feel something wasn't quite right.
What?
What?
Handling wise?
Handling wise, completely. Our day has been just toast by handling. It's been undrivable in a certain way, but I could feel something wasn't right, and I was making the most of it, getting away with it, you know, with the downforce and the way the morning was and less wind. But I was like, there's just something not quite right. And then as we started to take downforce off, this problem just got worse and worse and worse. And then I went back out in the afternoon.
What was it doing? And I don't give away secrets.
No, I'll explain. So I managed a 212.
Unless an ill-handling car is a secret to maintain, I should say.
Oh no, I mean, at the moment, you see those trash cans there? I'd love to just, but tonight we've got to just strip everything, put some new parts on it, see if it can work. But no, I went out and I couldn't even go in a straight line. So it was like a ping-pong ball.
Really?
Across the corridor, just bouncing like that. And I was like, that's not good. The other thing is obviously, when you look at an oval car, because of the way they're set up, they're set to be right hand down, right? Yeah. You're meant to be pulling it to the right and about, you know, between a 6 to 10 degree offset, depending on the driver. Some go more, some go less.
You get to the corner, you release.
Yes, you release and it automatically goes in. Well, no. So I was left hand down the straight, even though it's set. Sorry, I think that's something on my cheek.
It's okay.
So it's meant to be set like that, and it should be going down the straight like that, but it wasn't. So it was going like that down the straight. I wasn't releasing to go in. I was bouncing down the straight and then bouncing into the corner. So I would do one lap and be like, I'm going in the wall one way or another. If I continue this, we need to take it back. Look. And unfortunately, we took it back, and then I got the all clear and was sent, and then I took out my mate Renus, which I feel bad for, but I was sent. I was told it was double clear. I just went. Should have double checked in my mirrors, but when I did look, it was fine. Obviously, the number one crew chief, whatever you call them, I'm not used to the American terminology, was clear. So they sent me. They said it was double clear. You know, I feel bad, but again, I was like, well, that wasn't really my fault. From our side,
it wasn't intentional.
Yes, exactly.
Obviously.
Yes, it's my fault, but it's not intentional.
Sometimes we push Renus into walls, but this time it wasn't.
No, I feel bad for him, even though it's the last half an hour. But yeah, we've had my worst day on ovals, I would say. It's been, you know they say about you get a bit of a tight arse.
Yes.
Oh la la. It's been a bad day.
You even got a little smudge on your cheek. No, leave it. It makes you look like an old school IndyCar driver. So this theme of we come here, everybody prepares like mad, crazy, no sleep and effort put in, and things go sideways like this and go sideways repeatedly because you went to go back out and the car wasn't necessarily...
It was even worse. It was even worse.
Super
So
happy.
that doesn't fill me with confidence, and I lost my confidence all the way through the morning. I did my first 2 laps flat, and then I never managed to do a lap flat again. So imagine how it kind of spiraled. But again, we have to reset, go again tomorrow. The thing is, at least we've got a lot of time. So
Yeah.
if it doesn't work tomorrow, we just restart new. There's spare cars back there. I mean, this is a different car to my Texas car, so take that, try it, see. Now, the worrying thing is when you do that and you come back and it doesn't work. That's when you go, right, do I need to look at myself? No, I personally don't think so because I've never felt something like that in my life. But it's unexplainable. But I mean, again, you call me Mr. Negative. I'm looking at this very positively as to what I can, which is surprising.
I gave you a free pass though for the rest of the week to be negative.
Yeah,
and yet
but
you're not using
I think
all
I
of it.
went so far down that I've only,
all right.
you know, and maybe I'm a new man. Maybe they bullied me so hard I'm a new man.
Callum Ilott,
Yeah.
a new man. I love that.
You know, there's some harsh people that, you know, say that bullying should be back in the world. I don't agree, but maybe I'm a reason as to why. I don't know. No, I'm joking. It's been a horrendous day.
Well, then I'm going to make some life threats because you've had the opposite. So I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're alive. I'm sorry that your car, it sounded like you were doing some sort of tribute to the new Fast and Furious movie, kind of Indianapolis drift, but on the straights, not on the corners.
No, it wasn't good.
So a thing that I appreciate, of many things I appreciate about Callum, he'll tell us the real thing. And if this were to happen to most other drivers, you wouldn't necessarily get that honesty. And I at least didn't perceive that as you being critical of your team. This is just you sharing an honest story of your day.
It's the first time we've had this, and you know, it's not. I don't think, and again, I don't think anyone's done anything wrong, but there's something wrong, and we can't find it. We found 2 things which are symptoms of something, but we can't find what it is. And we spent 2.5 hours in the garage. We went on both patches. We sat down. We started the same, but we double checked. We went back to whatever they were running again, just to double check, even though it should have been the same. And you know, there's no one to blame. The problem is when you've got a problem like this, the only way to look at it is to solve it. You can't. You know, I get pissed off in a certain way because I'm risking things to be out there, and it's really not good.
Jack Harvey, boys and girls.
Very loud man. Attention seeking.
Yes.
But you know, the only way is you can solve it. So I got a bit frustrated, especially when it first started to go wrong, because I'm like, it's really not good and I can't explain it. And you wonder if they're even listening to you at that point, because it's like it's a question mark type of thing. And then no, it's definitely going, and it got so bad now that for me it's just like, well, that's not very good. There's nothing more to do than laugh because we checked it, but we can put some new parts on it to see.
Time to reset, and reset hard. So.
Anyway, I will leave you to it because you probably got a lot more positive things to say about other people's days. I mean, there were some bloody fast top speeds.
Let's talk about that.
I don't know, but it looked
we'll make it up. 237, I think, was the top trap speed that we saw. Joseph Newgarden fastest overall, and there's something.
Penske has speed.
Penske has speed, yes. 2 big things here. Team Penske has not been a particularly strong entrant the last couple of years at this event. It's been the one thing for them to solve. Last year they won the championship, won tons of races. Here, fell flat. Obviously their sole focus for the off season was to come here and do well. We're not going to say that one day in April is equating to all things being fixed.
It sets the tone, doesn't it?
There's a reason to be positive, to say they found something. So Joseph being fastest overall, of course this is in a tow, but 227.6.
It's a strong first day.
Scott Dixon was right behind him pretty much the whole time. Fastest for Honda, but Chevrolet fastest. Last year Honda ran away with things. So again, I'm hoping Chevy is there and this is more of an equal fight. Dixon was P2 for almost the end of the day there with a 226.7. Connor Daly, though, another Chevy runner, Ed Carpenter Racing, chucked it into P2, just a little bit behind Joseph. But if I'm talking about teams that impressed me Reinbold Racing, holy cow, they're the only Indy-only entrant here today. We have Steph Wilson, who I think finished 6th or so, but again, this is a big tow party.
Yeah.
Ryan Hunter-Reay, who hasn't been in a car forever, the thing's just all black. He's got a patchless and sponsorless suit. I think he was 12th or so, but that team, Chevy-powered as well, to roll right out. But now granted, I realized your car was chucking you around a little bit, unfortunately, but the winds here in the afternoon in particular, every driver was talking about, wow, this is some extra movement we weren't planning on. What does that feel like when you're trying to do very precise things and Mother Earth is saying, no, we're going to play with you?
I mean, it's tough, so I kind of got to look beyond the issues we had because I think it amplified that.
Sure.
But yeah, you're going down the straight, it's knocking you about, but it's more the gust that you get, so you might end up going forwards with the COP. Now we call it the COP, center of pressure. Well, you know your stuff, man. I know you're an engineer anyway, so of course.
I'm so good at engineering, I'm doing this. Sorry.
You enjoyed
Go
this,
on.
though. Maybe you didn't enjoy the engineering.
I wasn't good at the other thing.
It doesn't, yeah, but as long as you enjoy it. Anyway,
Anyways.
whatever. And yeah, it can send your car forwards with the COP, which means it just bites on the nose. And then it can send you rearwards. And I think with this, yeah, we have a headwind. So you come out of turn 4 on the nose, you go into turn 1 on the nose, you go through turn 2. Maybe it's a little bit on the nose on entry and then picks up understeer on exit. You go into turn 3 and just take off. Yeah, and when you're getting gusts, it can be different lap to lap, corner to corner. And yeah, even in the middle of it, so you go between the chutes and you get side wind, and it's not easy because you do one run, the wind changes, you do another, and you're like, oh. Of course, we're running tight margins, so a little bit either way when you're this close to that apron.
Yeah.
And if you hit that apron, you've seen how it goes. It doesn't end well. So yeah, on a day like this, you have to run with a bit of margin. Obviously, last year, that Fast Friday was ridiculous wind. I would say almost more than this. Maybe a little less gusty and just pure
30-mile-an-hour gusts is what we heard at its worst. Hot too, so thin air plus the wind chucking you around.
Everything. So.
Just insane. Other couple quick notes or two before we say farewell. Kyle Kirkwood, I forget where he finished. I think 4th or 5th on the day, but basically have a Penske, Ganassi, Andretti stack there towards the front. John Reinbold right behind. Takuma Sato fast as well for Ganassi. One slight surprise, and it's not calamity, but Arrow McLaren thought they were going to be right there. I believe Tony Kanaan might have been their fastest, unless that changed in the last minute or two, was 12th or 13th, but was expecting them to be up, so they've got a little bit of homework to do. Spoke with a friend at one team, a smaller team, hadn't put up any sort of big numbers, and I said, why is that? Was told there's a genuine reason. We're trying to avoid all the cars. We don't want to run in a pack. Why? They don't have the budget to go do their own wind tunnel work. So they're actually trying to use this huge 2.5-mile wind tunnel to run on their own to get their own validation and data to correlate their settings. Other teams that do spend time in wind tunnel don't need that, but just interesting. They said, hey, we're having to kind of use this place as our own impromptu wind tunnel. And then another fun thing too to close on. So as a photographer, we get barked at every now and then. Hey, don't take photos of this and that. It's all top secret. Teams yell at you and whatnot.
Who's barking at you today?
No one barked at me today. But I did catch a little bit of footage of someone from a team doing that. Silly enough to wear team gear while snapping photos of the cars going. Now, granted,
it's not illegal.
No, most teams do that. Want to see who's running what wing angles and what settings and whatnot. But it's rare where you get someone in full team gear doing that, though. So good on them. Granted, they might own the series, so they can do whatever they want.
I mean, it's one of those things. Like, of course, we're in that boat of not having a wind tunnel. We have to go off of the various data we see. So we have to test these things, and yeah, we're going to be behind quite a lot of them. There's a couple of things we were running in the morning where we go, no one else is running it. We wonder why. Best take it off, right? Yeah. And again, that's because those big guys know that is just garbage. And yeah, it's about all the options, and we started to get an idea for it at Texas. You know, McLaren ran a front wing config that no one else was running in the race, and that was a bit like, oh, clever, right? Okay, well now we understand why you're doing that. of course, to a more basic degree, but they take steps, and I think everyone comes here with their own individual ideas, and then you'll see teams migrate to one way, and we'll do the same.
Fair play.
You know, and it makes sense because there can only be one good way to do it, right? There is only one optimal in an engineering sense, right? There's good ways to do other things, but there is an optimum way to run this car. We just have to see who discovers it first.
Callum Ilott, boys and girls. I'm so glad you just kind of rocked up.
I saw David come and surprise you. Well, I don't know if you pre-arranged it or whatever, but I was like, I'll do it. You were here. I don't know if you were talking badly about me.
No, I didn't pre-arrange anything.
Excellent. So yeah, I surprised.
We send him nothing but love because he deserves it, and he's good at driving race cars, and he's a nice guy, and we're extracting the negativity from him ever so slowly, and the smiles are more. And
no, look, I'm a smiley person, but
there's usually hatred on the inside.
Not hatred, I think it's just factual. In America, you're all, positive all the time because I think it's maybe the tipping culture. We don't get tips in England, so everyone's miserable.
I'm from California. Life's pretty good,
except the taxes. But I mean, some people like them.
Some people have to pay taxes in like Idaho, so.
I don't know too much about it. Anyway, that's. I drive cars.
He drives cars. He's Callum Ilott.
You talk about cars.
I talk about cars.
Your name's Marshall.
It is. We should probably stop.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Okay, bye.
Hope that's okay.
Brother, look, as I've said many times, we're not winning awards for this.